In this lesson, I want to start out by taking a closer look at the action script we write to give us control over the objects on the stage. Now, in the last lesson, we used the name followed by a dot followed by the property name in all of our action script calls. And I want to try that again. Now, I've got a file opened here that you should find in the Lesson 2 folder of Part 1 called Polly. Of course, that's named after the little parrot that we've got here. And I'd like to try that out again for starters. Now, to get going, we need to have a named object on the screen, and then we'll write some action script to be able to control it. Now, the parrot, right now Polly, is a movie clip, and you'll notice that it's already been given an instance name of Polly. I'll even point out that there's a capital P there. Remember that our case is important, and we need to make sure that we match that when we write our action script. So let's just write a little action script to change one of the properties of this movie clip called Polly. Once again, I'm going to go up to a keyframe, and you can see we already have an actions layer ready for us. I'll click on the keyframe in frame 1, and I'm going to use Option F9. And of course, that's just F9 on the PC to bring up my actions panel if you don't already have it available. Now, I should point out that on the Macintosh, it doesn't dock Windows the same as the Windows operating system does. So I've got my actions window positioned right up here at the top of the screen. And you can also see if I press Option 9 and toggle it back and forth, that'll bring my actions window up and get it out of the way, just like it did in the Windows system. Now let's write a little action script. I'll start that out by giving the name of my object, which is Polly with a capital P. I'll separate it with a dot, and then we'll just use a property similar to the ones we did in our last lesson. I'm going to use _y. That'll be its vertical location on the screen. And I'm just going to set it equal to a value, let's say 150. Now I'll test my movie, and we'll see what that does to Polly here. I'll just use Command Return, and of course that's Control Enter on the PC. And you can see that now Polly's kind of hovering in mid-air here because we set it to a Y position, which is 150 pixels down from the top of the screen. Now, just so we don't have parrots flying off during this exercise, let's try another property here real quick. This is a property we didn't use in the last lesson. Along with the X and the Y values and the width and the height that we used in the last lesson, we can also take advantage of a few other properties. For instance, here, I'm going to try out a property called Y scale. Now, the Y scale is a value that lets me type in a percentage of height in this case, since it's in the Y direction, but it's going to be a number from 1 to 100. Or, in this case, actually, if I leave it at 150, Polly should be 50% bigger than it already is on the screen. Let's try that out real quick. I'll do a test movie, Command Return, or Control Enter on the PC. And now you can see Polly's back down on the perch, but stretched out and a lot taller than it was before.